Good evening, free enterprise fans, far and wide, around the globe. It's Nitsky1, bringing you the action. In the booth with me is Hupfen. How you doing tonight, Hupfen?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited to see what I'm hoping based on these two runners. It's going to be a pretty tight match tonight.
I've heard the Cactar group, which is part of this group, has been a really close group. There have been some really close races, so really hyped for our runners here. We have actual JP, who is 2-0, a relatively new runner to Free Enterprise, but has definitely impressed and is looking to make the table. And we have Dr. Cossack, who's 1-1, who's looking to get into the magma group and avoid the hook route, which is kind of a group of death there. And we have a Dark Knight Cecil there to start the game, and we've got our objectives. A first objective, which is the same as always: forge a legend sword with the adamant, give you an Excalibur, give that Cecil some power, climb up Mount Ordeals, so that'll be fun. That'll be 3 required bosses to do that objective. Raise the whale, fun, get Darkness Crystal, easy peasy, and launch a Falcon, which requires a hook. So for those out there, they might be hoping for a magma key, and our runners are off to the races.
Yeah, we've got really a pretty convenient set of objectives, especially with this vanilla friendship starting off with Cecil and Kane and a siren. Why not?
You love to see it. I love the vanilla start. Good job, whoever rolled this seed in Venerable for the vanilla start here. And nice siren. I would have preferred like a moon veil, but I guess give them one decent fight there. So no key item to start. So our runners are going to be off and running with nothing, and we'll see where they decide to go after they get through this first cutscene here, which is always fun.
Yep. There's a number of free characters around to go and maybe investigate, see if you want to augment that Cecil and Kane with someone, doing a little bit of white magic or black magic or literally any magic. And of course, you might want to get your initial shopping in, get a sense of what's out there on the table, and what early loot is to be found. We see a Cid in the inn and in Mysidia. But that Mysidian Cid comes with a Rosa,
which is always nice. Rosa, as most people like to call her, the superior white mage. Some people like Porum, I've heard, but most people tend to prefer Rosa, so that's definitely not too bad. We've got actual JP looting the back of Baron Inn, or not Baron Inn, Baron Town, and finds himself a Dragoon Gauntlet, so that's not too bad. We've got Dr. Cossack going into the Watery Pass here. He's gonna pick up some items, and we're gonna see who our character is here in the Watery Pass. Another Cid, so maybe not 5 Cecils in this seed, but maybe 5 Cids. It's always fun.
Yep, and that was a Kanazo over in the Mist Cave. JP definitely just hunting down, see if he can find the Mist Dragon in an easy free location, because that's an easy free fight. That's some nice XP to get early on when you're dealing with this party, and it's the bonus item.
Yep, so in this flag set, the no free item flag set, you have to track down Mist Dragon, kill Mist Dragon, and then go to the Village of Mist and talk to Rydia's mom, who's sunbathing, and she will give you an item. It might be a key item, it might be a moon veil, it might be a black shirt. It's completely random. So looks like that's what actual JP was just quickly looking for, while Dr. Cossack was looking to round out his team there, and he's got a full team now. He's got that Dark Knight Cecil, is doing some rearranging there, and now they're just going to try and get some loot there. So far, nothing of real consequence that I've seen, unless Hupfen, did you see anything there?
No, nothing terribly substantial. We are dealing with T Wildish here, so early on, probably less interesting, even though that is kind of an out-of-the-way location. And honestly, there's a lot of chests, so even with our sparse settings, there's a good number of opportunities for something good.
Absolutely. And we see another Roseanne Damsian, so curious to see what Dr. Cossack's going to do here with the full team. He's just going to stick with one Rosa, which I don't quite blame him.
Yeah, if you take multiple roses, then you kind of have one that's more of a backup, and she's going to spend most of her time probably doing archery. You know, give her a good bow, some good arrows, put her in the back. But that works for Sid as well. He's perfectly capable of doing that same role.
Absolutely. He's got a bit of a better HP curve in regards to that, a little more durability. So I applaud the choice. At this point, you don't have a heroine robe for that second Rosa, so for now, just leave her aside at this point. And we do see Dr. Cossack going into the Antlion Cave. Gonna look at some treasures there.
Yeah, this is usually your first or second stop on this kind of flag set. Finding the black armor, so that is one of the few items out there that is actually good for Dark Knight, Cecil. He doesn't stay a Dark Knight for terribly long in the vanilla game, so there's not a lot of options for him.
Nope, absolutely. The black armor is his best gear, and we do see a Zeus gauntlet in the 3 chests in the Antlion Save Room, which is always nice. You got a power shirt as well for Sid. Give him a little bit of an extra boost there. We have actual JP doing some shopping there, selling some stuff off. Don't blame him there. Dr. Cossack going down to fight the Antlion boss, which isn't too difficult in this spot here. You want to see a ruder boss. You don't want to see Mylon Z.
Mylon Z is okay. There's better and worse. JP using that shopping trip to stack up on mute bells, which is a nice tactical item and helps facilitate a grind or two if those end up being your better options.
No, absolutely. So definitely something to look out for. We've got some bosses who can be affected by mute bells, so definitely a good pick up there. And as you see, Dr. Cossack easily taking down Mylon Z there. He's only got 1,000 hit points, and he gets a sword for his trouble. Will he reset out of it? He's gonna take the sword out. Interesting.
Oh, might as well. Yeah, that's one good thing about Mylon Z. You can heal him to death if you so choose. He is one of the undead enemies. So Cossack doing more damage by healing than by attacking.
As pointed out in chat by Invenerable and Demarine, the Ninja Sword also does sell for some money, so I can definitely see him holding on to that because money's important in this game.
Especially again with the sparse treasure, you got fewer opportunities if you're doing your treasure looting. You take the expensive stuff that you can get, and even if you don't use it, that's going to be a good source of income. And it looks like Hobbs is going to be a good source of Rydia that Cossack wants nothing to do with at this time.
I don't know about that. I like Rydia early game. She has warp, so you can do the warp glitch. We have that flag set on for this part of the tournament, so she gets warp pretty much right away, so you don't have to worry about it. Right now you don't have a source of warp. Do you really need another Sid?
Well, there are a few arguments for holding off on Rydia as well. I mean, I'm totally in camp of grabbing her early. We know that Sylph is available, so she has plenty of utility. But she also does not have much agility, at least initially. So if you end up ditching a Cecil, because we have vanilla agility, if you ditch him for a Rydia at level 1, you got your anchoring sorted.
That is true, Huff, and I never thought of that. As we see Bahamut here in the first slot here in the guard spot in Baron Inn, which will be taken down pretty easily. And then there's a doctor behind, Dr. Lugate, which won't be, I mean, it won't be too bad. I mean, we'll see how it goes. As you can see there, the hammer's doing some work.
Yeah, some hammers and some lit will be very beneficial here, especially because you don't want to deal with a lot of physical attacks coming from Dr. Lugay at any point. This is the karate spot in the vanilla game, and that spot hits hard.
It certainly does. But looks as though he is through the first part, and now he's just coming to the second part. His Cecil's having a nap, which isn't of real consequence at this point. Dark Knight Cecil in the beginning game is not that great, to be quite honest with you. As you can see there, the Sid's doing just a little more damage.
Just a little.
Just a little. Cecil doing 10, and them doing quad digits. And a Luca key. So he's got a useless key item. Huffam, why is a Luca key useless in this flag set?
Well, I would say it's 96% useless, and that 4% is not mathematical. I'm not doing math. But as you mentioned, we have the warp glitch on. So the item that's at the end of the sealed cave, you don't need a Luca key to get it. You can just do the dwarf castle battles and then warp right into it. That non-mathematical 4%, well, what if D-Mist is there?
That's very true. I never thought of that. I thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it very much. It looks as though Dr. Cossack is going to fade Fabul for now, and is going to make the trek up Mountain Ordeals here, one of our key objectives. And is this even randomized in Ben? I'm going to start calling you the new Vanilla there. You've got Vanilla Tella on the mountain there. And he's gotten rid of Sid, which I definitely can approve. You have your source of warp now. So that's solved that problem. If this does happen to give you underground access right away, as Dr. Cossack's gonna go up the mountain here, he's gonna loot these chests here, gets an earth hammer. That'll be helpful for Sid.
Yeah, this whole experience is just going to be very good for both Tella and Cecil. This is where you go to power them up. So yeah, we'll take these 3 fights to make 2/5 of our party much more valuable. And now we know that Luca Key is useless because there's D-Mist.
Absolutely. So, well, no, it's a key item. So if Dr. Cossack happens to get up to 10, he would receive double experience. So, you know.
Fair enough.
That's the only use I can see for it now. Question in chat: Doctor needs a win to move on. Nope. Even at 1 and 2, he'll move into the hook route, which is a little more dicey. It's gonna be a lot more people and a lot less people advancing out of the hook route. But Dr. Cossack doesn't want to fall into the hook route, so this is a must-win for him, I would say. But actual JP wants nothing to do with the magma route. He wants to just go straight to the table at 3 and 0. So he's definitely playing to win as well.
Yeah, we are still in that group stage, and a good way to think about it is this is kind of the play-ins for the tournament proper. So the whole hook route, magma route going straight to the table, it's more complicated than I could hold in my brain, but safe to say that you will be seeing more from these two in the future.
Yes, there'll be at least 3 more matches, at least. So we do see this D-Mist hanging around a little bit. Got Kane in the air.
It's got the essentially the combined HP of Mylon and those ghouls. with how things are calculated here. Cossack does knock it down, but can't be surprised that it took a little bit of time.
Yeah, without a decent weapon for Kane, he's really gear dependent to do work. So, and we do see Ashura in the back attack spot. It's a bit of a rude boss here. She's fast. She's going to use her cures, and it looks as though Dr. Cossack's going to use the Star Veil technique to get by this boss. So what's going to happen is he has just Star Veiled Kane there. He's going to wait for Kane's turn to come around again, and then he's going to use a Star Veil, which will pop from Kane onto Ashura, so that when she uses her cure spells, they will bounce off of her and onto his party, and that will definitely make the fight a lot easier, that's for sure.
Yep, it doesn't cancel out any of the counterattacks that you'll get when you actually attack Ashura, but it does kind of nullify them because, she's going to be healing you over time. And spares you the whole process of trying to do the lifelock strategy, where you just time your attacks perfectly and get her stuck on that life one over and over, and never actually does the heals. It's a little trickier, and some spots make it even harder than others, but that's a great way to go through without expending any resources.
Absolutely. Huppen, do you think that Dr. Cossack has remembered to check demist, or do you think he'll forget about that?
I'll give it 20 minutes. If we hit 35 on that timer and we still haven't seen the demist item, he'll forget. He'll have forgotten by then.
I'm thinking the same thing. I feel like it's an overtime. The more time that goes between now and checking that demist, the less likely he is to actually go and check it. We'll see if Astral JP actually just straight in without saving.
Yeah, a bit of a bold play.
I don't know if I like it. I mean, there could be a rude boss here.
I think for JP, it was the fact that demist went by so fast for him, using that vampire, chipping away the HP very rapidly, so less invested in that demist fight compared to Dr. Cossack, who had to take a little while.
That's very true. Actual JP was through the fight quite quickly. It looks as though Dr. Cossack is finally through. Looks as though interesting. Let's.
It turns out vampire is a reflectable spell.
It certainly is. Actual JP learned something today, if you didn't know already.
Well, I learned something because I never tried vampire strats in any sort of situation.
No, I've only done it once or twice, so that's definitely interesting. Looks as though the hook is at the top of the tower. That makes me sad.
It's a little sad because that's one objective down and the second objective immediately shepherded. And we don't even have a difficult fight in here. Not that there are many possible fights to be difficult. This is proven to be a little too seamless for our runners.
Man, it's a bit of a jelly seed at this point. Although it could be that going through the hook route could be a bit dicey. Could have Ogopogo at Ruby's spot.
Oh yeah.
That's still on the table, Inven, so it might not be completely easy. But seeing CPU here at the top of the tower is not something you want to see. You want to see CPU somewhere else. That's really nasty and really a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and the reason for that is that CPU only ever attacks with that attacker node, and all the attacker node does is 10% HP damage every time. It can add up if it's going a little too fast, but if you're able to manage and heal through, CPU is basically free.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. So as you can see now, your Dark Knight Cecil is turned into a paladin, and now he becomes infinitely more useful. He can equip more things, use more gear, use more swords, use more weapons, use more armor. You'll see his utility go up quite a bit here. Dr. Cossack would love to see a holy sword, like a crystal sword or Excalibur or something. Even a light sword at this point.
All of that utility coming at the cost. As I mentioned earlier, we have vanilla agility on for this event, and that means that everything is going to be based on Cecil. And as a paladin, he gets fast, and he gets gear that makes him even faster. So you got to balance that with not wanting to have a very high agility as your anchor character.
Nope, there is a bit of a sweet spot there for Cecil. Usually you don't want him you want him at level 44 or level 45, ideally. That would give him 28 agility, which would give him relative agility 2, which is what you want for the Threemus fight. Just taking a minute here, we've got Fabul on the right. Interesting that Dr. Cossack is fading the hook and is doing Fabul.
Yeah, especially with launching the Falcon being an objective, I have to assume that this is for the XP that you will get.
Could be, or could have been just for the free heal, but yeah, Water Hag here is definitely not where you want to see Water Hag, that's for sure. This spot is relatively easy. We do have actual JP checking Rydia's mom, so that's an important check there. And as you can see there, she had a white shirt for him, so womp womp.
Yeah, not a key item, but a good item nonetheless.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Dr. Cossack fading Demus check isn't going to get punished too bad. Question in chat: what makes 14 and 28 agility important? As Invenerable has said there, 14 is an important. 28 is as Invenerable has said there, they are breakpoints, where basically Threemus is basically easy. Let's just TLDR, just say he's easier at those agility levels versus other agility levels.
So the community could write a book on FF4's agility system, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone started to and then decided that they had other things they wanted to do. But yeah, there is the whole approach of relative agility and the ranks in there, and Cecil being at 28 is equivalent in that system to him being at 1. So there's a little bit of nuance to that, but those are kind of the break points for when bosses kind of loop around in that setup.
Yeah, so basically, that's Invenerable has basically pointed it out there as it goes. Dr. Cossack is finally diving into Cave Evelyn. There will be a character here for his taking if he so desires. Shout out, just really quick shout out to our behind the scenes people, Gundam Pilot Spaz, clicking the buttons, making everything highlight up, and to Invenerable, who's provided us with this amazing seed and is making sure everything runs smoothly behind the scenes. And also a shout out to my co-commentator Hupfen. Make sure you give her a follow.
Yeah, and same to you, Nits Guy. Much appreciate working with you. We're acting like this might be over relatively soon. But like we've been saying, this is a surprisingly jetty setup that our runners are facing already.
Yeah, and looks as though sirens are available in the Evelyn Cave shop, item shop, so they will be able to have their grind relatively quickly if that's how they choose to grind. I'm not sure if Dr. Cossack prefers the D machine grind. I am honestly not sure.
Well, he's got the Tella, so he's got the tools to make it happen. But yeah, there are plenty of other grinding options that are going to be open either now or relatively quick that will lean more on having those sirens, whether you're doing the egg grinds or you're doing warlock grinds or King Ryu grinds. Those tend to rely on having a good supply of sirens.
You are not wrong. It looks as though Dr. Cossack looking to equip up his team a little bit more there, doing some looting here. Because Evelyn Cave is considered a gated area, the T Wildish flag will weight better items and better equipment in the cave versus a non-cave area like Baron and such.
And also because it's got trap chests. Well, trap chests, singular. These stalemen will be hanging around and will be punching, and possibly putting your people to sleep.
Absolutely. It looks as though actual JP is going to give the fans what they want. He's decided to dive in to Magnus Cave. Huffin, why is Magnus Cave the people's champions cave?
Well, for one, the people hate magnetism, but mainly it's that we when you go and face the Dark Elf, there's the whole cutscene with Edward getting up and playing a little tune, and that saves the party from certain oblivion. And there's a lot of tunes that will save you from certain oblivion, and so we randomize it and let you see what DJ Spoony B is going to play for you.
I'm excited, and I will go quiet as we hear the magic.
Yes, as Chad is pointing out, it's crystal time. Very much so. Between our two runners, we have the Crystal Tower theme playing over on JP's side. Meanwhile, Dr. Cossack has found all manner of crystal equipment, including a crystal sword.
Always rewarded. That Staleman chest has the goods, and also looks as though there's an edge available, and it looks as though Sid is going to take a nap, be on the bench, and I certainly don't blame him. Edge has a little more utility, can throw stuff, use some magic. He's got that ninja sword that we had all the way back in Antline Cave, so definitely good to have that there, and definitely will be putting out the power with Crystal Sword Cecil there. Definitely a huge pickup. I don't know if actual JP actually cracks into that chest to have the same rewards, so we'll definitely see what happens there.
see a little disagreement in chat as to what the music is. These are coming from Final Fantasies that I have not personally played, so I'm relying on chat to correct me. I've only played 4, 6, and gone above that, so we like to dig deep into our references.
Yeah, I heard it a little bit, and I didn't recognize it, so I deferred to you, chat. If you think it was Final Fantasy 1, we'll go with that. I have no qualms with that.
Hopefully, JP, you are able to check. You're able to interact with the harp right outside the fight and get the credits for what it is and who provided the conversion. So hopefully JP does that and sets this matter to rest. And also hopefully he gets through this D-Lunar fight.
Yeah, being a little bit rude there, taking down Cecil. You don't like to see that. When there's just one D-Lunar up, he'll just spam fire, and that's a percentage-based attack. It takes away, I believe, 20%.
Yeah, looks like.
He does get through there. He's able to save it there. So definitely kudos to him there.
Yeah, it was looking a fair bit sketchy there, but recovers. We'll see what key item potentially comes out of this, and it is the Darkness Crystal.
Oh boy!
So, 30 minutes in, by the way, we are in go mode.
Actual JP is not in go mode.
He's got the hook, he's got the Darkness Crystal, he can complete the remaining objectives, just has to figure out his grind.
Well, he's got to finish.
Well, there's a long way between being in go and finishing the go, but it's the journey.
I guess you're right, Huffman. My apologies. I don't know. This has been so jetty that I didn't even think 30 minutes we'd be in go mode at that point. So required music unless somehow Dr. Cossack picks up the Legend Sword and Adamant and can fade somehow launching the whale.
Yep, you would have to find Legend Sword, Adamant, and the pass. Now there's the entire underground though. Like, let's be real, there's the entire underground where stuff could be.
Yep, it's definitely a possibility, and the way that we have the tournament set up, you only need to complete 3 objectives in order to get the crystals, so you can complete any 3. He could fade, launching the whale, and get the Adamant, get the Legend Sword, to be able to do that.
And if we're being honest, that's the Alt Gauntlet at the King Queen Evelyn spot. How about some eggs? This is what your grind could look like.
Absolutely. And actual JP going into the item shop, seeing the good news, seeing sirens, seeing coffins there. So I didn't notice coffins the first time, so they might go egg grinding. It's with coffins, it'd be pretty fast to just crack some eggs and use those coffins to take care of business there. So definitely interesting. On paper, it looks as though Dr. Cossack might be slightly ahead just because he's going to finish his second objective first, but he needs to loop back and do music. If he does not do music, actual JP could fly right by him.
Yeah, and this is a situation like Cossack not only ahead in terms of objectives, but with that crystal sword that really kitted out Cecil, that's going to buy you a lot of time in a lot of fights. But you can make up all the time you want in fights. If you're not doing the one you need to, that doesn't get you anything.
Posomorpheus pointing out in chat with the 15 mute bells and the sirens. Could do a warlock grind. It's a little bit little bit slower, but you get a little more experience out of it. So I'm curious to see what JP is going to do here. He might think that he might actually be behind.
It's not impossible. I think he was. Yeah, no, I think he was the first one of the two to grab the harp because that was at Fabul and he ran there first. But yeah, did put it off a little bit to do Mount Ordeals. So I don't know. I don't know how behind JP feels, or he might just be realizing like, okay, this is go mode. I'm just, going to clear out these objectives and take the most efficient route possible, which to us ends up looking a lot like someone feeling behind.
I would think I was behind, but I always think I'm behind.
Listen, I don't think I'm behind. I know I'm behind, and that's why I'm in the booth.
Exactly. So, and then pointing out in chat that the acrostic for Dr. Cossack's team signifies wrecked. So
an accurate description of what that team is doing to these various enemies.
Yes, this never-ending old gauntlet here with eggs and look at that. Oh, it's a green dragon. Don't you love to see that? Said no one ever.
I mean, there was a mention Gundam Pilot Spaz pointing out, normally you don't get experience in this spot, but with the alt gauntlet, you do end up getting experience for each of these fights. They are just random encounters. So this is a boon of experience, if that's the sort of thing that you have on your mind.
That's very true. Crystal Sword Cecil plus Rosa is basically GG. Is basically. And Yang in behind shouldn't be too difficult in this spot.
Yeah, we'll see. This is the Rubicante spot, which is a little bit of a skill check in the vanilla game. He does hit a little hard, but a lot of that is with magic, and this fight does not involve magic, so.
JP using one of his coffins there to get rid of that egg quickly, so that's not too bad. And also, I just remembered.
I had forgotten it as well.
When you have Paladin Cecil in your party, Yang has a script built in after the second kick, as long as Cecil hits him. He goes ouch and disappears. So both of our runners will benefit from that. That is it.
Yang prefers hand-to-hand combat. You start bringing swords into the deal. He's like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know where he got those swords from.
Yeah, I'm not asking that question.
Yeah. Dr. Cossack peeking the top of the tower for Rubicante there. That might persuade him against checking that right away, but we will see. We will see what we will see as he completes his second objective there, but finding what he's going to do next is going to be very interesting, since we know here in the booth where you got to go and what you got to do. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, he's got an entire underworld now available to him. That's a lot of red herrings, as we have determined. JP, though, not holding onto that crystal sword, has not taken on any kind of trap chest fight. Having a little more trouble. Also, using Cecil as an anchor, which means that he's just having a nice nap. He's not contributing damage.
Yep, so he's counting on Kane and counting on Edge to kind of pull things together, but they are not geared very well, and they're pretty low level. Edge is still at his base level, so going to be a little extra work for JP, I think, to get through this. We'll see if that slows him down. Is Dr. Cossack continuing to loot? Continuing to loot. Very interested in this. Like, if I've got Crystal Sword Cecil, I've got my Rosa, I'm going to get levels.
Well, in a way, I guess this will get levels. And using his innate cover ability, having everyone except Cecil down to 1 HP, so he will protect everyone from everything. And these warriors don't hit that hard when you're rocking crystal armor.
Oh, this is very true. Crystal armor is Cecil's most powerful armor. It does prevent the berserk status from going on Cecil, but when you want him to cover your party basically and act as your meat shield, is definitely not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. As JP continues through the
Alt Gauntlet. That sounds like someone's Christmas holiday.
That does. My son asked me today when Christmas was, and I had to tell him it's a long ways away, son. It's a long ways away. I think that's I got onto relative in my head there. Kids
these days, I tells ya.
I know. Where was D-Mist? D-Mist was in the Mylon slot and gave us a white shirt, which is super fun for Rosa. That's really about it. No problem. Oh, where was it?
The darkest crystal. That's the Cave Magnus check that is probably going to be pivotal. We don't, again, there are 3 items that Dr. Cossack, if he finds them, renders the entire Darkness Crystal moot. That is the Legend Sword, the Adamant Ore, and the Pax. He does have to get all 3 of those, but it's not impossible.
Nope, there could be one coming up right here in that chest that he's about to check.
Yeah.
But it's a pan.
That actually opens up 3 item locations. That's a better thing to find.
This hourglasses in the Feymarch item shop. It's gonna sell some stuff. Sell that Bahamut summon. Sell that Sid gear. You don't need that anymore. You have two crystal armors. You're rich.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was all manner of crystal armor, crystal helmet. I didn't see any, but I wouldn't have been surprised if there was crystal gauntlets, all in the Evelyn Cave itself.
It's a veritable gold mine. Going back, he buys a Gungnir, so it's gonna give Kane some gear. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it.
No, that Gungnir spear is not Kane's top weapon by any stretch, but it is high up there on the rankings.
It's better than that flame spear he's rocking.
Oh, absolutely.
So give me that. I'm a little surprised he bought it, but hey, it's definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
As the Barosi indicates in chat, the pan could have all 3 items that he needs, and you are not wrong. It is definitely, there's a non-0% chance of that happening. As actual JP is through the Alt Gauntlet, he's going to save, which I think he has forgotten that he has Paladin Cecil, unless he's going to continue to just have Cecil be down. He could be through this fight very quickly. I think I would take the levels. I honestly think I would. Because getting through this fight otherwise is just time consuming. Just plain time consuming. And he is going to break Cecil up. I think hopefully he remembered. But he doesn't have any gear for him.
That's how important this Paladin is to his strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, also pointing out, Rubicante, in the vanilla game, he is an evil fiend of fire, but he's nothing if not diplomatic. He will heal you before the fight.
Yes, he's the only fiend that likes to give you a fighting chance there. So kudos to Rubicante, because Mylon doesn't give you a heal, Kenazo doesn't give you a heal, Valvalis doesn't give you a heal. So we'll see if he just downs his Cecil here right away.
And also we saw that the Sylphs don't give you a heal, did give a Magma Key, which is also a little frustrating.
A little bit, yeah. It's not quite what Dr. Cossack wanted to see there, but it is a key item. It brings him up to a whopping 5. So kudos to him for that, I guess. He berserks his Cecil. I think he's forgotten that.
I don't know. Because so you just have to use the fight command. Yes, it'll work just fine. You just have to use the fight command on Karate from a Paladin Cecil. Berserk just auto fires the fight command over and over and over. So it actually does work for that purpose. And for the purpose of getting Cecil 13 levels, which I think JP is less happy about.
Well, today I learned something. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's it has some other knock-on effects as well, but that's basically just Berserk that's all it is.
I did not know that. Looks as though Dr. Cossack going topside here. Looking at his key items, looking at what he needs to do. Is he going to... He's going to go down the Sheila rabbit hole.
That's a bit of an oof, but at the same time, that's 2 key item locations that he's checking right now. You can't argue with that math.
Nope, I definitely do not fault the logic. To go out of the way to music is such a low percentage play. Well, he's got the pass.
Well,
That's one issue down. And he did get the Sand Ruby if he wants to go and peek who is in the bed in Kaipo. You can revive them without a problem.
Yeah, it could be a valuable character to have, or a valuable anchor.
The question chat from the Barosi, what was the item? It was a Sand Ruby at Sheila 1 and Sheila 2 at the pass. The item before that was... what was it? The Sylphs.
That was the Magma Key.
Yes, it was Magma Key. Something I had forgotten.
Yes, as we had been saying, with the Darkness Crystal at Cave Magnus, that is something that Dr. Cossack is continuing to go away from. But we do have, unless I'm miscounting, 6 item locations left to check in the underground alone. If 2 of them give you the Excalibur pieces, then Dr. Cossack is fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what JP is up to here. He is in go mode. He could go raise the big whale. He knows where sirens are. So I think
he's going and getting more of them right now.
Yeah, it looks as though he's probably going to buy more coffins, I think, because I believe he used them during his all gauntlet fight there. So that's part of what he was going to do. More of those.
Yeah, I think right now JP's biggest question is just how do I get ready for Zeromus? Dr. Cossack is still figuring out how to get to Zeromus, but that is, answering that question is going to get him even more prepared. He's already pretty ready. JP, no crystal sword, solid gear, but nothing extraordinary, and not running as high of levels and not going to run into as high of level situations either.
No, it's definitely an interesting strategy that we're seeing here. I truly don't know how JP's is going to do it here, but I think he might ultimately he'll go with Berserk strats. I think, just because he's got edge.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's got cane. He's gonna leave his seesaw on the ground. He's gonna hope that those 13 levels aren't gonna affect him too much, I think.
Yeah, I can see JP going with Zerker strats. This whole setup has been much more physical attack heavy, just in terms of what characters our runners have found so far, and certainly the ones that JP has taken.
Yeah, so it looks as though he's gonna move his coffins. He has 27 silence. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, he's making a good number of omelets now. And Dr. Cossack finding yet another Sid.
That's 4 Sids for those of you counting at home. And it looks as though it's Mylon in the Golbez spot. This should be relatively simple for Crystal Sword Cecil there. And you've got Edge, he's got Flame, why not?
Yeah, honestly, this is pretty straightforward for almost any party. The spot doesn't have as much HP as you would possibly worry about, and not as much magic power either.
No, yeah, those lit ones doing 15 damage. It's almost nothing. It should be down there, and their Mylon disappears, and there's some levels gained. It looks as though JP is keeping his Cecil alive and is leveling him up, so it's definitely interesting there.
Yeah, could be going for that 28 sweet spot we were talking about earlier. Could just be deciding, hey, I'm going to roll this party, who cares? I'm going to swap one of them out for, whoever I find. I'll go do Baron Castle, or Dwarf Castle rather, right quick. Or take whoever's on the Lunar Dais.
Yep, there's still the Lunar character, which is still possible for JP to take. He's just going to use these coffins. And the warp glitch gets us the rat tail, which is just another item for Dr. Cossack to check.
Yep, just a plain old 1-for-1.
And Luca gives him the spoon, which is another dead end. So, to go and check that rat tail, to follow this chain.
So, honestly, a very difficult question at this point. Everything feels like a one-off. Granted, there are the 2 fights in the Fey March, so that's a 2-off, technically. But they're also Fey March fights, and they can be incredibly rude. This keyless tower play, this is a single check, unless it happens to give the tower key in its vanilla spot. And it's a lot of time investment. I feel like if you're Dr. Cossack, you're thinking, I don't have any good options here.
Nope. You got to think that your partner's in the same boat, that he probably faded music, even though we know that JP didn't, but you would think that would be the low percentage check, knowing that he's just looking for a Darkness Crystal at this point, as well, in theory, knowing what's going on there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will admit I've not watched the runs that both of these runners have done so far in this group stage, but if you're like JP, if you're a newer runner in the community, or at least, newer to the organized races and events, you might have a mindset of taking gambles in the hopes that, that pays out and that gives you an edge over your seasoned opponents. I've certainly seen that in all sorts of communities and other situations kind of like that. So I don't know, maybe in JP's head that harp was a gamble that just really paid out. But either way, that's sort of like mental play when you're doing 1v1s. You got to be thinking about who your opponent is and what they're likely to do or not likely to do.
That's very true. Even though JP's gear is far inferior to Dr. Cossack's, we could see with those extra sirens, it could just be a matter of over leveling on JP's side, potentially, just so that when those big bangs come out, he's able to survive those. So,
the good old childhood strategy.
Yep.
The way you play it as a kid. Who needs plans when you have levels?
Exactly. Just run it up. Didn't everybody beat Zeromus at level 75? I know I did.
No, you do it at level 80.
Well, that just it seemed to take forever just to get to 75. So I was happy with my Cecil at like 4,000 HP. So
I hadn't played this as a kid, so I wouldn't know.
I had to rent it as a kid from the video store. You only had 2 days with it, and so you had to go fast, go super fast. But I used to spend many an hour.
I used to try renting RPGs when I had a Sony PlayStation that didn't have a working memory card slot. So those were days. I'm so glad we're past those days.
Oof. I feel very sorry for you, Huffin. Randomania 2, thank you so much for the raid and coming in. I'm Nitsky1. Joining me in the booth is Huffin. And you have an amazing match here in the Cactuar group. We've got Dr. Cossack against Actual JP. Dr. Cossack at 1-1, Actual JP at 2-0. They both got something on the line here. No one wants to fall into the hook group. JP wants to go straight to the table and not have to worry about anything. So welcome on in, grab a seat. It's a bit of a jetty seat, but our runners are going to make it interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, Dr. Cossack has not gone to Cave Magnus and found that darkness crystal that Actual JP has. And that is kind of the missing link on his side. He's trying to figure out which of the remaining one-off plays that he has is going to be the right one. Turns out Keyless Tower was not it, just granting the package. He is going to walk that out as he's that much closer to the 10 key item checkpoint that will make his grind quite a bit faster than JP's.
Yep, doing the old count here, looks as though he's at 9.
Yep.
6, 8, 9, yep. I can count. I can count to 9. Huzzah! I'm glad that I went to all that school. That's good.
And yes, that pass does not count as one of the key items for this particular calculation. So there are 10 things lit up, but only 9 of them are key items.
Yes, and looks as though maybe Actual JP was listening to me. It looks as though he is taking the childhood strat there, and because his Rose is at 1900, his Edge is at 2100, and looks as though he's still going, so definitely interesting there. Looks as though Dr. Cossack will pop into Silvera here, see what's in the item shop, and then take a quick peek. Silk Web, you want to have at least one Silk Web. Slow down Zeromus there. Also nerf his first Big Bang, always super useful, so that's a nice find. So Dr. Cossack is looking for a rock and a sword.
And gets a tail.
Gets a pigtail. Well, good news. That takes him to 10 key items. So.
And gets an Artemis bow.
Well, at least it wasn't a rabbit hole, as Invent says in chat. That's always nice. We'll see if this points him to music at this point, and maybe.
Looks like it will.
Okay, so now we're definitely going to have a race now, as Dr. Cossack is going to pick up the Darkness Crystal. As we know, it's in Cave Magnus. He does still have to grind a little bit, but with 10 key items, he won't have to grind nearly as long as actual JP.
Mm-hmm. And with stronger equipment, like I said, all of these fights are going to go that much quicker as well.
Absolutely. Dr. Cossack has done quite a bit more looting than actual JP, but he has picked up quite some decent gear. He's got a crystal sword for his Cecil. He's got a Gungnir spear for his cane. He's got all the goods basically. He's Z ready.
Yeah, so this is where I honestly think this is going to get interesting and going to be a bit tighter than it might look, because there are just a lot of variables in play right now. That equipment, that XP boost, the pass versus the subterranean walk. I don't know exactly how all that's going to add up. Looks like JP is done with his grind though, so we might be able to start that clock.
No, absolutely. So we'll see. Also, Dr. Cossack will not have to walk the lunar subterranean. So it's
that is a notoriously long path, and this is a notoriously good song, so I'm going to shut up. And the verdict is in. It is the Temple of Chaos from Final Fantasy 1, not the Crystal Tower, not the I don't remember what the other debated point was.
I don't remember either, but I thought it was Sea Shrine. But whoever said it was Temple of Chaos, kudos to you.
And yeah, that crystal sword is a little bit holy, I dare say. Doing quad 9s against the D-Lunars, taking care of that entire fight in 2 fell swoops. A fight that took JP a fair amount of time, it's worth pointing out.
Yes, he almost didn't make it through, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit on the ropes. So that's the sort of difference that these two runners are starting to face here.
Yeah, the sort of OP.
And the Lunar Bard has appeared for JP. If you want to take him as your anchor, you are going to have to give up that Cecil. I don't think JP is willing to do that. So that is an anchor bard. That is the front man of this wonderful group of berserkers.
I don't fault the decision based on the fact that you had a silver staff Cecil. Is that not exactly it's not combat ready, let's just say.
Yeah, that was definitely a plan for a while, is whoever shows up on that lunar dais, they're taking Cecil's place. And there are better options for that. I think a base level Tella and certainly a base level Rydia will be slower, but Edward is not a bad choice.
Oh, and hot on its heels, Dr. Cossack has completed his 3 objectives and has picked up his crystals, so we definitely have a tight race here, folks. It's anybody's race.
Now, the question is, of course, we've seen plenty of runners who grab an Edward and they don't care what level he is. There are strats that you can do with Edward to take out Zeromus, regardless of how many levels he's got and how much equipment he's got. The problem is, those take time. An Edward-only Z fight can be done, but you gotta dedicate a good 20 minutes to it. So, considerable investment there. Dr. Cossack going up to the moon, even holding on to that pass. So I'm a little interested to see why that play. Oh, just for the Hummingway visit, just to say hello to some rabbits.
You know, I like to say hello to rabbits whenever I can.
Yeah. Always an agreeable move. And always a good question that comes up in these races. We have these Z flags showing up. JP is in the moon. We have a good 450 so sprites that Zeromus could be looking like. He could be a bunny. We don't know. It's time to find out whose butt we're kicking. I said well, it's time to see whose butt, but JP has some planning to do. The butt will arrive in due time.
I was just about to say, sometimes you gotta just make sure that the table's set, you got all the silverware out, you got the turkey, you got all the fixins.
You gotta build the. We're so on holiday mood tonight, I guess.
All right, here we go.
Let's stop before I make an unfortunate turn of phrase, and let's start this Zeromus fight. Yep, there is Eddie going first, providing one of his 2 major contributions by throwing out that crystal. And who do we have?
It's I don't know.
It's one angry mole, Mr. Rossetti. Very upset that a villager left that pitfall just sitting up there in the top of tower. Has now come to exact revenge on us for some reason.
From Animal Crossing, thank you, chat. I appreciate it. As someone who has never played Animal Crossing, that would explain why my son is still too young. So. Oh, it's this Moley dude. Look at that. What a cool guy.
He's adorable and angry, just constantly angry. Look, he's nuking Rosa. That's unnecessary, Mr. Rossetti. You don't have to do that.
So rude. As you can see there, that Silkwood has come out, so the first Big Bang will be nerfed. So you're able to manipulate Zeromus' script in order to reset his spell power, so that this Big Bang does only about 1,000 at the most. Edward's taking a nap, so that's always good.
He's done his job, and he can take a break.
Absolutely, those two roses. His group has over 2,000 HP, so even if the other ones do not get nerfed, which they may or may not, I'm not quite sure what JP is going to do. But so far everything seems to be going to plan.
Yep, looks like he's planning to reflect some whites as well to get some additional damage off of those roses. You do not want to do a direct cast of white on Threemus. Don't do it. Do not do it.
Why not? It sounds like I would save so much time.
I mean, the fight will end sooner, yes.
But is that because Threemus does
Don't-
something? He
Don't
does he cast win?
Yes, he casts retreat.
He casts retreat. Well, then I will do that in all of my races.
Looks like what Dr. Cossack is doing, as Chad has been kind of questioning this situation, probably setting up to steal some Bacchus wines off of ogres, which is not something you see terribly often, but it is an option if you can't find them for sale and want to make sure that you can Zerk. Now, with Atella and a Rosa available, Berserking is definitely on the table as a spell. Doing it right now, in fact. So, I have to assume there's a little bit of grind in this as well. Like, doing it this way to get some levels and some wine, rather than just needing one or the other.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting strat.
Yeah.
For sure. Casual Murasame. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, already had luck with one trap chest giving you a very good sword. You might as well take another one. But I feel like this is Dr. Cossack feeling a little ahead, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
see-
because he's
yeah. Yeah, we are seeing JP just moving along pretty seamlessly on this Z fight. But Dr. Cossack is going into Troya, does have that pass, will be into this fight pretty soon. Maybe too little too late, though.
quite possible. Looks as though JP was able to nerf that Big Bang with Vampire. We'll double check that.
That looks like that was the strategy. And that looks like it worked. Both of the roses are down, though, so that is a little problematic.
It definitely is, because I believe both of those are currently Kane and Edge are berserked, but that black hole will definitely help them out.
That black hole might have saved JP, for all we know. Yeah, there's
We
rocks.
got rocks. It's a little dicey.
Yeah, getting those dodges in, but oof.
It's gonna cure too. Meteor phase means that Dormus has 12,000 or less HP, and actual JP is not putting out a lot of DPS, so these rocks do about 900.
Yeah, and not getting enough dodges either. So, this is... JP needs to pull this through like he did with the D-Lunars, otherwise Dr. Cossack is going to have the win.
Doing a little bit of run buffering. This is very dicey. Very dicey.
Yeah,
It's,
that's Edge's HP gone.
Yee. And, Dr. Cossack is in the fight.
Oh, and there's another Meteor. Does JP get any dodges? He does! Rosa dodges the Meteor entirely.
Oof. Wow. Rosa is your MVP of this seed. Because that allows her to cure 4 herself.
Yep. Cure 4. Life 2 will bring anyone back at full HP, so can bring back Cade or Edge based on whatever he prefers. And yeah, we're low enough that a direct wipe might be able to do it for him.
Looks as though he's gonna swing. It's another Meteor. It's
Oof. They're
Rosa's
still alive though.
Rosa's still hanging on. 1840 from Edge. You're so close to the end. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah, this pull out all the stops at this point. You're right there at the end of the fight. You've gone too far in this to fall apart here. And that was that the Flash? We're gonna have to go to the admins right now.
Here, and I think we have received something. So it looks as though we are going to call that a GG, according to the administrators. It looks as though they're calling that, and they're going to consider that a legal win. That puts his official time at 1:14 and 15 seconds. Let's see.
So the official ruling, the admins were aware of the reset. That is ruled to be a legal win because we did see the Flash, and mathematically there was no danger of a post-Flash party wipe, which is a thing that can happen. But JP, for as tense as that fight was, did have enough HP that it would not have run out in that time. So there was no risk of a loss there. So, JP, why you scare us like that? But GG.
So it looks as though we will get actual JP in here for an interview real quick. It looks as though Dr. Cossack's fight is going pretty well, though. As you can see, much faster. His Edge and his Kane and his Cecil putting out way more damage. Wait for it to come in there as we see. We see Dr. Cossack curing up here. Looks as though he will be in the clear, and a much less dicey fight, as he is now in medial phase.
Those are much larger and safer numbers for Dr. Cossack.
And there's the Flash there. And a GG to Dr. Cossack, completing an official Discord respot time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 9 seconds.
So yes, GG to both of our runners, providing another incredibly tight race for this tournament. I know 3 minutes doesn't sound like a very tight race in speedrunning, but that is a very close time and a very, very well-earned win by JP. So we'll see if we can get everybody in and discuss how all that went.
And we do have actual JP joining us now here in the booth. Congratulations on your win. Way to give us all a heart attack there. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I wasn't trying to give a heart attack or anything. I just, yeah, it worked out that way, and I got lucky with Rosa there.
I was just about to say, Rosa is the MVP there of your seed. If she doesn't dodge that Meteo, I think you're on the floor.
Oh, definitely. It helps to have two of them, because then one of them can be the MVP.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what did you think of the seed overall?
The seed was fast. It was, you know, I was worried because I didn't get any key items or really any equipment and stuff. So I was just like, alright. Once I found sirens, I'm like, alright, we're just gonna grind to hell, and then we're gonna see what happens in Threemus and be done with it.
Yeah, you managed to take just like the most efficient approach almost. I think that Luca key was the only thing you got that wasn't required.
I think that's pure luck on my part, because, I mean, hey, look at what the requirements were in the first place. I just didn't want, like, once I got the twin harp, I'm like, okay, let's just do the freebie. Once I got the darkness crystal, I'm like, okay, let's do the hook to get that out of the way. The hook led me to just needing the crystal at that point, and I found sirens, and then that was it.
Yeah, I mean, you pulling that hook or the harp rather so early really steered your run overall because you had go mode like 30 minutes in. So
harp was from Eblin,
yeah.
right? Not Eblin.
Fabul.
Yeah, thank you. The other one that sounds like that.
All good.
Sorry,
Nope.
I'm kind of excited still.
No, that's very understandable.
Understandable.
Very understandable.
Congratulations on getting to 3-0, and you're going to make the table. You'll be able to face off against such greats as Invenerable and all the other greats who have already qualified at 3-0.
I'd still like to give a shout out to the Cactuar table as well. Everyone was really chill. We were able to reschedule and schedule as we could, and we all put up a really good fight against each other. So just came out on the lucky end of things.
It was a very close race for everybody. So definitely well deserved though. The wins a win. So definitely.
That's what they say.
That is what they say. So again, congratulations on that. Look forward to calling some more matches in the future for you there. For now, you get to have a little bit of a break while everybody else goes through the Magna and Hook route.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that practice for the next rounds. It's a good thing I have that time off. But I'd like to also give a thanks to you guys for restreaming everything. You put up a hell of a job of doing everything, and it's a lot of fun. So good job to you guys, and you should get the grandest of applauses.
I mean, I appreciate it, but I think for this run in particular, the applause goes to you two for making it so dramatic in so many ways.
Yeah, getting control instead of my num zero was a little rough. And then in Discord chat, I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm dumb. It worked out, so.
No worries, JP. It happens to all of us one time or another. So definitely, if you haven't already, chat, give both runners a follow. Actual JP, Dr. Cossack has chosen to decline an interview, which is definitely fine. But make sure you give each of them a follow. Any final words, JP?
No, not really. Like I said, thanks to you guys. I mean, without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to put up what you said was a very dramatic win. So you guys are the ones doing the work behind the scenes, and I appreciate it.
It's definitely no problem. It wasn't us making the decision; somebody else decided. So definitely GG to you, and Absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's that's it.
The end.
Yeah.
The end. So, definitely give them a follow. Also, shout out to new Jet Seed Roller Invenerable. Make sure you give him a follow. The tracker pushing all the buttons, making everything light up. That's Gundam Pilot Spaz. Make sure you give him a follow. Give my co-commentator Hupfen a follow at Radio Hupfen. She's super awesome. She does amazing streaming and whatnot. And
You've earned yourself a little. You've earned yourself a little self promo as well. Nitz guy, lovely member of the community. Always worth supporting him.
Well, I do what I can. We're just looking to see who we're going to throw it to. It looks as though we're going to throw it to Solar Fire. They're doing practice for this amazing tournament. So, any final words, Hupfen?
No, just say thank you all for watching, and there's gonna be plenty more where this came from. There's been plenty more, so hope to see you next time.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Be good to yourselves and to each other. And we will see you all next time.